So this is called six thinking hats.
Okay.
Again, this is a method that was championed by Edward de Bono.
Mm-hmm.
He's the person who coined lateral thinking. Unlike the other methods, this is kind of a structured approach. This fits really well if you have a well-defined problem,
Mm.
or if you want to like optimize something, create efficiencies. This is not for something that is like coming up with like something totally crazy, right?
Mm.
So I'm going to share my screen and kind of quickly show what this really means.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep, I can see it. Yeah.
All right, so the idea is that you address one aspect of the problem at a time. So let's say first you talk about the facts and information. If you have a white hat, right? So you wear the white hat.
Yeah. You know what? Guess what?
You have a white hat. Perfect, right? So at this point, you set aside certain time, and then everyone absorb the facts and information. Like you don't try to think of anything else, right? So that's the idea. And then you move on to thinking about emotions. Like just like you have facts, people have gut feelings. Think
Mm.
about like how do you feel about something, right? So you have a conversation around that, and everyone talks about that. And then black is what are the risks of doing
Mm.
something? Are there any technical or ethical or business risks that we have to be concerned about? And then what are the benefits of implementing
Mm.
certain solutions, right? What value,
Mm.
what customer outcomes can you gain? Like everyone does the same thing, and then finally you come up with some ideas, right? And then all is done, you go back to a blue hat, which is kind of management thinking. I think, Roshan, you can switch back to your blue hat, right?
Okay.
And then you think, hey, did we really follow a proper process, right? Did we have a proper discovery? Did we make the right assumptions? Or we make the right decision, right? And end of the day, if you think you have confident on your solution, right, and if you think you're doing the right thing, you go ahead with it. Otherwise, you take it as a learning and go through the cycle again.
I like that a lot. And what I like about this the most is you are focusing on one aspect at a time, and everyone adds their ideas there, right?
Exactly.
And yeah. And is it iterative as well, or is it like it's a workflow?
It's a workflow, right? Because this is very structured in this case.
Mm.
So you're really trying to, like, the example I gave is like, should we make a product launch or not? And in order to do that, like, what are the different steps that we want to go through? And it's very structured, right? So you're
Mm.
trying to make a very specific decision. And if you can't make a decision, or if you decision could be like a go or a no go, right? But the idea is that you get everyone to think through the same lenses in every step. And it doesn't have to be these specific items. You can come up with your own rubric, your own criteria, but get everyone to think through each of those steps.
Got it. Nice one. Thanks for sharing. For me, I don't have a nice one like yours, but something that I've seen work is like what I mentioned earlier. We get people from different disciplines together. It's a mix of engineering, management, product, design, right? And to mitigate the loudest voice in the room problem, right? We generally divide the problem into like domains, and then we divide the room into like a cross section. It's random actually, and say, okay, you guys, you focus on this. Like either you and it's like different phases. It's like first define what are the problems, what is working well, what is not working well, right? What would you change? What is a radical thing you would add? And so it's up to them to like think of that space, right? They discuss it amongst themselves and then start adding stickies to the board, right? And like that everyone does that. Then the next step is, now that we have a board, a whiteboard with all these stickies, then we come in and we prioritize. Everyone is given, one, two,
Yep.
three, right? And then they prioritize. Okay, if it's a particular problem or it's a radical idea they want to explore, they can add like a star, a particular color star or whatever, right? And then we tabulate that, and then we say, okay, these are the ones that as a group we feel are important to address. This is the things we want to explore. These are the things we want to mitigate. Now we prioritized all of these many ideas into things that we really want to focus on, and then we start discussing them as a group and trying to come up with different ideas. That's kind of something that has worked.
I like
um,
that. Yeah, that's perfect. And these are things that really work in real life, right? So that's what's important.
yeah, that's kind of what we have been doing lately. Yeah.
So
What else?
another technique, I think we spoke about people being remote, and
Mm-hmm.
then we talk about like dominant characters as well as people who don't actively participate.
Yeah.
A technique that I have used, it's called brain writing. Instead of
Hmm.
in brainstorming, you are actively speaking out. In brain writing, you are not actively speaking out. You are actually silently writing down the ideas.
Mm.
Again, I create a simple chart so it's easier to explain. Let me share my screen. I use this great tool called Creately, which is a collaboration tool. You can visualize things very easily in that.
Oh, we love Creately.
All right, so I just put this together in Creately. So what happened here is like, let's say there are four people. So I came up with just four random people, right? Guys named Roshan, Yuresh, Shan, and Asanka. And here
So
we are trying
random.
to
So
say
random.
totally random, right? So yeah, here's the question: is like how do we use how to use like Gen AI or ChatGPT to improve productivity in the team?
Hmm.
So given some of these people might be loud, other people might be quiet. So we give everyone certain time to say, okay, come up with three ideas. So nobody's going to see each other's, right? So although I have it next to each other, in reality, you're not going to see it. So Roshan, this person come up with three ideas, three great ideas. Yuresh come up with three ideas. Shan and Asanka all come up with their own three first ideas. After you're done with that, you're going to pass the sheet. If you are doing it on a tool like Creately, like you can go to the other person's space.
Mm.
Now I'm going to give Roshan's one to Yuresh, right?
Mm. Mm.
Now Yuresh is going to take inspiration from Roshan's ideas and add to that,
I see.
right? So you're building on top of that. And similarly, Yuresh is going to get someone else, Roshan's, and Shan is going to get Uresh's, and so on, right? So you get the idea. Then this keep continuing until everyone has had a chance to build on someone else's idea. So Yuresh then passes to Shan, and Shan passes to me. I'm kind of lazy. I only put two ideas, right? So altogether, so let's say on Roshan's, now you have 10 ideas. And if everyone come up with 10 ideas each, like before now you have 40 ideas built. And
Mm.
then you can come together as a team and kind of go through the process. You can do voting if you want, right? You can organize it thematically and decide which is the best idea. So this allows, everyone to equally participate.
This is and you're building on each other's ideas, which is really nice, right?
Exactly.
What is this method called?
This is called brain writing, right?
Brain writing. Okay, very cool. Have you guys? Do you guys use this?
I've used this with the teams, definitely. And I'll give you a bonus point as well. So usually like these things happen in a like a certain time interval. But in reality, like remember like when I said, hey, Roof, come up with an idea, it takes time to come up with ideas.
Mm.
So sometimes I spread this out over days. Like I say, hey, first three ideas I'll give you till tomorrow. Come up with some ideas. Then pass it to the next person and say, okay, by next day you come up with three more ideas, right? Sometimes people need time to think.
Mm.
People are
Mm.
busy with other things as well. So I spread this across like weeks sometime. And end of the week we have a collective session where we all come together and go through the rest of the process.
Got it. Very cool.